What you didn't see last time on FAQ 2021. And maybe you should have. And how come an alien planet looks just like Vasquez Rocks?
Yeah.
Like the Bat Cave's right around the corner?
Are you serious? They did that?
Yeah, the alien planet looks just like Vasquez Rocks.
Oh boy.
In fact, that should be in the sci. That's in my sci-fi drinking game I did. I put on Facebook a little while back. I put if your sci-fi movie clearly uses Vasquez Rocks, sip. If it was made after Star Trek's Arena, 2 sips. If they used the Bat Cave entrance after Batman was on, chug.
What would be the adjustment of the rule for, say, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, where they use that on purpose?
That would still be 2 sips.
Still count it.
Actually, no. If they reference Star Trek, if they're referencing the Star Trek episode, it's 2 chugs.
Okay. Well, they weren't referencing it directly. I mean,
yeah, they were, because before they went to that site, they actually watched Arena.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think yeah.
So that's a 2 chugger. I purposely wrote the sci-fi drinking game rule so that if you actually played it while watching most science fiction movies made between 1949 and 1972, that you'd be dead by the time you finish watching the movie.
All right, ready for the next question?
Yeah.
In the last season's premiere, you hinted at 3 movies that didn't make an appearance this season. What happened?
Yes. Motley Crue's Disaster the Movie, Menace the Hands of Fate, and The Best of Flintstones Kids. Each of those have weird stories about why they didn't happen. And I'm going to start with Menace because that's the elephant in the room. Matt and I were all set to do this last April.
Yeah, we were ready to go with that.
We were like, right before COVID hit, we were actually planning to have our sit down and watch the entire movie together. And then we realized, with the quarantine and the lockdown, there's no way we're going to be able to do the stuff we wanted to do, which included, driving through a local cornfield to get that shot. That shot in the real movie where they're driving through the corn. We were going to imitate that as close as possible. We were going to do a shot at Cabin John Park for Torgo's house.
Yeah, we were going to try to make it as close as we could on our
to the actual meadows, our host segments, yeah.
But with all the health concerns, we just couldn't really see through to falling.
Yeah, so we said, we'll wait till Meadows till 2021 or maybe even 2022. Disaster the movie had this thing where, in the early part of season 1, we had some episodes that had multiple movies in them because they were either short or because they didn't really give us a lot of material to riff on. That's why I did Flintstones and Flintstones Viva Rock Vegas in one go, where I did DC Necessary Evil, Supergirl, and The Phantom in one episode. The original idea was to do Team America World Police and Disaster the movie in one episode. But when I rewatched Team America, I realized, there was enough material there that deserved its own episode. So I said, we'll do Disaster in 2021 or 2022. Flintstone Kids was another case where right after I did the superheroes episode, Matt was like, you have to do Flintstone Kids now.
Yes.
I said, we just did the Flintstones 2 months ago. I want to space those out. So I did Star Trek the Animated Series instead. A few months later, it was like, are you going to do Flintstone Kids now? And I was all set to do it. And then I found this little toy in my basement, an old childhood favorite, and it inspired me to do Gulliver's Travels instead, which I'd also hinted at doing. And then I waited a few more months to do Flintstone Kids, and Matt said, we're going to do it now. I said, no, my ear infection is slowing down productions on the bigger projects. So we'll put Flintstone Kids off till the season finale. Plus, we just did that Let's Play, which was also a Flintstones video.
Of course. You just
Season finale rolls around, and it's in the middle of a Christmas episode. So with that in mind, we did Flintstone Christmas Carol instead.
All right. Is that all on the Flintstones?
Yeah, well, we got a lot of Flintstones videos on this channel. We're stuck with them. You make one great kazoo joke, and you're henpecked for life.
Oh, what was the best movie you reviewed in 2020?
Well, that's easy. The Muppet Movie. It's my all-time favorite movie.
And the worst?
The worst. I'd have to say Star Trek: The Prescription Sleep Aid. Motion picture.
Even though you get to see them in those sweet new uniforms, that was the worst.
You mean their new pajamas?
Yeah, they're sweet new uniforms.
Sweet new uniforms / pajamas. Yeah.
Yeah, motionless picture is the worst that I watched last year.
Yeah, most of that movie was just straight up padding and visual fluff. I felt like
Yeah,
look at all this neat, cool stuff we can do.
Hey, they got Christy Alley to shave her head.
that wasn't Christy Alley, that was Francis Campana.
Oh,
Christy Alley was in Star Trek 2, which
All right.
is a movie I might get to in 2021.
okay.
Yeah, I
Well-
think you should do that one at some point.
All right. You went insane during Plan 9. So is that your real opinion in the review or not?
In the reviews, I'm doing a character, but not in the same way as, say, the Cinema Snob or Angry Video Game Nerd. The opinions in my reviews are 100% me, with one exception, and that is Bela Lugosi meets a Brooklyn Gorilla.
Yep.
My relationship with Plan 9 from Outer Space is complicated. I recognize that the movie is fish, but I just don't love it anyway. No, I love it because it's shit.
So it's like that's your guilty pleasure movie?
Right. Do you
Okay.
have one? Do you guys have one? Or at least more than one?
Yeah.
Hmm.
If so, what are they?
Well, I don't know. It's not necessarily bad, but maybe that'd be something like MVP. I enjoy that.
Yes, I love that one.
Or They Live. I was thinking even maybe. That was a great movie. Like,
I know you guys might not agree with me, but I'm a big fan of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3. Back to Japan.
That movie
Yeah.
is terrible.
yeah, most people would probably not agree with you on that one. Like, but I'm sure there's much worse out there for sure.
Yeah.
I think it's some other guilty. Oh, I love. Not gonna hate me for saying this, but I love The Room.
I don't know if I necessarily would say I hate you for it. That it is so. It's one of those movies. It's just so terrible. You kind of have to laugh at it. It's like an unintentional comedy.
Yes.
That's really what that movie boils down to.
Yeah.
And I think of other ones that are like that.
I can think of another one. Street Fighter, the movie, kind of comes close.
Oh yeah, that's 100% a guilty pleasure, and that movie's fantastic.
Yeah.
For you, the day you watched Street Fighter the movie was the worst day of your life. For me, it was Tuesday.
Of
One
course.
of mine. I think you guys might like this one too. The Three Musketeers. You know,
The Chris O'Donnell version?
yeah, Chris O'Donnell, Charlie Sheen, Oliver
Tim
Platt,
Curry.
Tim Curry,
Well, if
Kiefer
it has Tim
Sutherland.
Curry.
I have it in
yeah.
my collection somewhere. I haven't watched it in ages, though. I picked it up for like 50 cents at a pawn shop.
We probably should do that movie at some point.
It's a good movie.
It's good, but it's bad.
Yeah, well, that's
just straight
sort of been
good.
our thing.
Oh, I thought of another one. Speaking of Chris O'Donnell, I thought of another guilty pleasure movie,
Yeah.
Batman Forever.
Oh gosh. Yeah, that kind of comes close to for me too. Also, a little bit. It is bad, but at least it's not as bad as Batman and Robin. So
Batman and Robin is an unwatchable piece of cow dung. And I'm being mean to cow dung when I say that.
yeah. But
Wait,
yeah,
that was one with Poison Ivy and Mr. Freeze, right?
yeah,
Yeah, and Bane.
Bang.
Yeah, it's so bad. So, what movies are on your you would never review list?
I'm not going to tell you guys. Well, mainly because it's not exactly I would never review them. It's just that I would have to be paid a big chunk of money to do them because, as the 13th rule of acquisition states, anything worth doing is worth doing for money. So, I'm here to announce that if you guys can get my Patreon up to $50 a month for 6 months, I will watch and review the 2004 horror classic Garfield with Bill Murray, Jennifer Love Hewitt, and Breckin Meyer.
That movie's a little dark.
Well, yeah, it's got uncanny valley animation and a cat. Much too scary for me. But if you can get it up to $75 a month for 8 months, I'll buy something even worse. Star Trek V, The Final Frontier. And if I can get it up to $100 for a year, I will sit through Robert Wise's cinematic masterpiece, The Sound of Music. I didn't promise anyone that. Who wrote that?
Maybe you could also do The Music Man with that. Because I tell you what, I hate that movie so much. My dad loved it so much.
Well, my mom loves The Music Man and Sound of Music, and I think that's part of why I feel the way I do about that movie. But
the amount of times,
remember,
I had to watch those as a kid.
The Sound of Music was the masterpiece of Robert Wise. Unfortunately, Robert Wise is also the same guy who directed Star Trek: The Motion Picture.
Oof.
Well, now for a quick look ahead, what can we expect for 2021 and maybe 2022?
Okay, well, in terms of did I get what I paid for, I plan to do 12 to 15 episodes there. I have 5 I'm locked in for sure. I promised some of the cast and crew that they would get to pick some of my movies in lieu of getting them Christmas presents this year. So, Nick, you actually chose a movie I meant to track down and buy called Ice Pirates.
If you can't find it, one of my friends.
I have it. I
has
meant to track it down and get it.
Okay.
Our patron, who pays us $1 a month, even though it wasn't part of his original deal, I let him pick a movie. He picked Transformers 1986. Another one of our patrons, Amir, he said he wanted me to do any movie that frightened me as a kid. So I've got that nailed down between Labyrinth and Dumbo. Marche also wanted me to do something that terrified me as a kid, so I might end up doing both. but I'm not sure on that one. I'm definitely doing Best of Flintstone Kids. Star Trek 2 was a definite. And because I did the first one last July, I really want to do Captain America 2 Dead Too Soon, starring Reb Brown and Christopher Lee. I hope we do Manos. I'll probably do something off of Ralph's list of holy films. And I'd like to do a special episode featuring some of those public domain movies that Matt got me for Christmas. Like I said, maybe Ava the Savage Venus or Gamera, maybe Planet Outlaws, I don't know. And Matt wanted me to do one of the sequels to Francis the Talking Mule.
Yeah. Partially because it would be an excuse to bring back Ed again, I guess, maybe.
Yeah. Plus, you paid $3 for that DVD set, and you want to make sure we get our money's worth out of it.
Oh yeah, there's several films on that we could do.
Yeah. And in terms of comic book corners, that series is ending, but I will be finishing off that Promise Superman and the Immigration System video. The script is about 50% done. It might take a few more weeks to do, but I'm getting on it. Story time is coming back.
Back to Francis the Talking Mule.
Yeah?
Do you think he's related to Toonsis, the cat who could drive a car?
I'm not sure.
Really? Maybe.
I know Francis was what they ripped off to make Mr. Ed.
I think Mr. Ed was probably
Also, Senator Eduardo came from Mr. Ed, which is sort of why we did Francis in the first place.
Yeah.
Um,
Except Francis hasn't aged particularly well for the most part.
Yeah. As I was saying, we are planning to do a return to Jesse's story time. It's probably going to be another 6-episode season, maybe 5. I have an idea for an episode I'd really like to do as a 2-parter with Nick Brashamonthel. You know the one.
Which one?
Oh, you remember that time, that thing with the BAGELS?
Oh, yeah. Lunch.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And a new series is already started called Fill in the Blank with Jess. 2 episodes have already been uploaded. I plan to do maybe 6 or 7 more this year. The first one was Cooking with Jess, which isn't the show you think people would want to watch, but apparently they did. And the other one was an instructional video on how to do your laundry. I think the 3rd episode will probably be Walking Your Pet Human with Gizmo.
Well, that actually does relate to the next question. People want to know, will Gizmo be in more videos? They want to know that one almost as much.
As the thing about it.
How many more videos will the computer be in? They really
Well, computer will be in as many episodes of Did I Get What I Paid For as Nick is willing to do.
Yeah.
Gizmo is harder to. Gizmo's schedule is very busy. He's got tennis balls to chase, and birds to chase away, and mailmen to bark at, and cats to hide from.
Yeah.
I mean, I could always use my dogs as stunt doubles for him.
And I think your dog is like a big dog, right?
Well, one's about 50 pounds, one's about 65. So
Yeah, it would be like. Have you ever seen the movie Kiss Meet the Phantom of the Park?
Oh yeah, that movie.
There are scenes where Ace Frehley is clearly replaced by a linebacker, an African American linebacker for stunt work. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, it's probably about as obvious as all the old Star Trek episodes.
Now this is even more obvious than that. They don't even bother disguising that Like he mysteriously changes race for no reason.
It's just like magic.
Well, the whole movie doesn't make sense. You should watch it.
Yeah, the only thing I can really say for that movie, it was a lot better than I was expecting it to be, but not necessarily in a good way. I mean, it just quality wise, yeah, it was still bad, but it was a lot more fun to watch than I thought it was going to be.
Anyway, there is another series I've been talking about with Matt and you and Marche and a few of the other people I know that I really want to do called To Boldly Watch. It would follow a format similar to what we're doing now, where we're just abusing our Zoom privileges. And
Yes.
beforehand, we would just watch an episode of Star Trek, meet in the Zoom conference room, talk about the episode, talk about why that particular episode was chosen, and then just talk about either social issues related to the episode, weird things we noticed in the episode, goofy things we noticed, logical inconsistencies, and other just random but interesting stuff. And
So
editing it together and calling it a day.
yeah, I guess so. You said since Comic Book Corner and Story
Comic Book
Time-
Corner is ending, yeah. Comic Book Corner is ending not because I don't have ideas that I could do, it's just that apparently Matt's the only one watching them.
That'll be the replacements for. Did I
It could
get?
be the replacement for Comic Book Corner. And I think, yeah, it's pretty much the replacement for that because I think Star Trek has a little bit broader appeal.
Oh,
Plus,
yeah,
it's a lot easier to do.
yeah. Yeah, no,
Comic Book Corner, I would sometimes spend a week researching, 3 or 4 days writing it, and then a day shooting it, and then another 3 days editing. So it's like a 3-week process to sometimes make an episode. Whereas,
I would just do everything in one take.
oh no, I don't have to do everything in one take.
No editing, no script. You just wing it.
I've done a few videos like that, like this one.
If you forget what you're gonna say, you just make it up. And if you're wrong, you stick to it.
Do I look like I'm on Fox News to you?
No.
I have something called integrity. And I won't give it up unless you pay me. But now I do sound like I'm on Fox News.
Yeah, now you do.
Hi-oh!
Hi-yo.
Last but not least, how can you help the channel? Oh. No,
That's
wait,
gonna help.
you had that as a cue for. I was supposed to be Q, and you're supposed to ask that one, I think.
Well, the best way to help the channel is to visit patreon.com/ParityErrorFilms and become a patron. If you liked this video, please hit like and subscribe. Come here, Gizmo. Come here, Gizmo. Gizmo, come here.